to record this on the computer. And what I do is I load this to YouTube and I give you the link to these recordings. No one can see these recordings except for people that have the link. If none of your students or fellow students share that link with anyone, only the people in this class will see it. It is on YouTube, but it's private. You have to have that link in order to view the video. So what I'm hoping is you won't be concerned about participating in an online class because you fear that the universe is going to be able to see you. And that's just not the case. It is on YouTube, but it's private, just among us. So please don't hesitate to participate and ask questions, because I am sure that every time a student asks a question, there is another student in the class that's saying, I'm glad they asked that because that helped me too. So, you're not just helping yourself, but you're also helping some fellow students, most likely when you ask a question and we try to demonstrate it. So I want to continue to work on the kitchen, and we're going to work on the bathroom. Once you know how to put in the countertops and the fixtures in the kitchen, the bathroom becomes really easy. And then we'll put in some stairs today also. But let me just answer this question from my fellow student. So what that means is I'm going to start from scratch. This is basically what you started with. And I'll do the kitchen and you'll be able to see that. And then we'll go over your particular questions. But this is good because it's recorded and you can refer to it again. But first thing I would do is either copy this or right click and say create similar. So I'm putting a wall down here. We'll use the trim extend to clean those walls up, and I want to put my kitchen in that space. So what we did before was we said, let's use reference planes to do that. So I click on reference planes, and we're going to do offset 2 feet. So from the wall, from where I actually draw the line, Revit's going to draw the reference plane 2 feet away. Now we can see that it's on the wrong side. So I hit the space bar and click, and now I have that reference plane in there. I can see that this is going to be not enough space, so I'll just move it over. I'm not worried about the actual location of it right now because I know how easy it is to move it back and forth. So now I'll just copy this over 5 feet because that's the distance I want. And I can see that I need to move this one and this one some more. Don't worry about it. So this will be my island, and I want that to be 4 feet wide. So I'll copy that over 4 feet. I click on the object, say I want to copy it. I don't have to click anywhere in particular. I'm using my mouse just to show the direction I want to copy and my keyboard to tell it the distance. Now this distance needs to be 2 feet, so I'll put a dimension in there from here to there, and I'll click on the object that I want to move, which is this one. I'll click on the dimension and say make it 2 feet, and Revit will make this accurate based upon moving the object that I had selected. I can see that I might need to pull this out some more too, so that's fine. I'm going to go back to my reference plane, offset 2 feet, and put another one in here. And then copy that, select the object I want to copy, tell Revit what I want to do, which is click on the copy. I can click anywhere on the screen. It doesn't matter. I'll click way down here. I'm using my mouse only to show the direction I want to copy it. and my keyboard to type in the distance. So let's make that island 8 feet. So click on the object I want to copy, click on the command, which is copy, click anywhere on the screen and move my mouse in the direction. Doesn't matter how far, just I'm using my mouse to show Revit which direction I want it to move. And let's make that 8 feet. So we'll pull this guy back to here. We'll pull this guy back to here. And that's basically going to be my kitchen. I'm going to put an opening here between my breakfast nook, architecture, component, click on there, and I think it's got the word OP opening in it. So I type OP in my search and it goes right down. Let's pick this one right here for the opening of 6 feet wide. I'll just put that right there. So now I know that my countertop probably shouldn't go any farther than that. So real quickly, I've laid out the layout for my kitchen, and I think I'll pull this back to here. We'll put another opening over here. Architecture, component. Well, click on there. I'm going to look for a narrow 2'4" opening. That's good for now, and I'll put an opening right there. So my countertop, these are just reference planes, so I don't have to clean it up like this, but maybe to make it clearer for both of us, I'll show you exactly what I'm trying to do. Then I'll put another one in here, real simple reference plane. I'll go from here to here. And then I'll just drag this one down. There's a little dot at the end. I can clean this up too. Like I said, though, these are reference planes. They're just to look at. But that's basically what my kitchen is going to look like as far as countertops go. Now, if I look at that, I know somewhere over here is going to be my sink. So maybe I should grab these things and let's grab everything and just drag it back so that my sink has a wall in front of it where I can put a window. And I can move it later, but I kept everything. It looks pretty good. Okay, so now I like what I've done so far. I want to keep it. It's a good habit is to go into save. So my digital ink is not just on the screen anymore, it's actually saved. And now we're going to go into component, but we'll do the drop down. And we're going to say model in place. I call it casework. Put it in the casework family. You can't see it, it's on the other screen, but it gave it a name, casework 1, which I just say, okay, that's just a subcategory. I want to do an extrusion. Let's look at the constraints. Well, look, we said it's 3 feet and 2 feet 10. And cherry is not a bad material. I can always change it later. So let's draw it. Let's draw a rectangle because I know that it's going to start right here and go down to right there and say, okay. And say, okay. So now let's take a look at that in 3D. Let's take a look at this guy. And let's set this up so that I can see what I'm doing. This is my crop region. I'm going to come down and crop right there. And now let's look at it in 3D. Now you can see what I did. There's no floors in there yet. And we spoke about this previously, that we're putting in finished floors, but they would go wall to wall. And this wall may or may not be in the right location. Let's assume it is. So then we're going to put the floor in. Architecture, floor. What do we want that floor to be? Let's make it tile. The top of the tile is 1.25 inches above the floor line. And then we'll draw it in there. This might make it easier for you to see it. And then I'm going to cut a section through there to explain why I said 1.25 inches. Okay. So let's look at it in 3D. Now there's a floor in there, and you can see that it's tile. And that might make it a little bit easier to understand what we're doing here. But if I decided I wanted to move the wall, I can't see the floor. There we go. So if I decided to move the wall, well, I stand corrected because it dragged the floor with it. So that worked out pretty good. Normally, that's not the case. Anyway, let's go back to here. I'm going to put another extrusion, architecture component, model in place, casework, okay. It just says casework number 3 now, I guess, okay. Extrusion, check my constraints, 3 and 2 foot 10 cherries, okay. I'll use the rectangle to make it easier, and I'll just do that. Let's go back and take a look at what we're doing. So now I put in another countertop there. You should already have this all done, but let's do it a different way. Architecture component, drop down, casework, okay. Casework number 4 is fine. We're going to do it extrusion, but instead of drawing a rectangle, this time I'm going to say pick lines. So I'm going to pick this line, and this line, and this line, and that line. It picked all of those. If I pick this line, I think it'll go farther than I want it to. So I'm just going to draw these last 2 in there. And I can see that there's a problem. So let's highlight that problem. I'm going to click on this object and come down to the eyeglass and say isolate category. I'm only doing this because it make it clear what I'm where my issue is. See, that has to be, I picked that dashed line, that reference plane, and it was that long, so it made the magenta line that long, but it's not supposed to be. So if I say okay and accept it, it will tell me that there's an error, and it changes the color where the errors are. So I will continue, and now I could go up and clean this up, and I can see that that's not connected either. And now I'll say okay. And when it disappeared, that means that it worked. I go back down to my temporary hide and reset. Now I have those 3 in there. Let's take a look at what I've done so far, okay? So now having that floor in there might make it a little bit easier to see, but I've put my countertops in there. Now I have all of these tabs, way too many tabs open. I'm going to close everything by clicking that, which is in the view tab, it says close inactive. I have right clicked on top of that and said add it to my quick access bar, which is this bar below here. So that's where it is now. And I clicked it, it was close inactive. Because I want to see the other view, which is my sections through the stacked walls. And I want to see both of these at the same, I want to see both of these tabs open at the same time, WT. ZA for zoom all. So now I can see my kitchen and I can see this guy. And I guess I want to see the floor plan too. WT. So now I have 3 views. I have 3 views now. I've got the library of all of the components that I want. And I have my 3D view. And let's make a third or a fourth one, which would be the section through here, just to make it easier. Now I can't see the whole house because why? Because my crop region is telling it to only show the stuff inside of the crop region. I have this section, which I want to look in the other direction, see where the arrow is. That's the tail and the arrow. So I want it to look the other direction. So I flip it. Now it's looking towards my countertop. And we're going to right click on top of there and say, go to view. WT again. And now I've got my 3D view. I've got my library of components. I have my plan view and I have my section view. I don't know what that is, so let's delete it. And I don't know what that is, so let's delete it. That's a dimension. It's not necessary right now. Okay. So now I'm looking at that wall. What do we want to put in there first? What do we put on that wall? Well, basically cabinets. So let's put a base cabinet, right click, create similar, click on this to make it active, and we'll just put it in. Now, when you click on it, these arrows show me the front of the cabinet. So I want to rotate it 90 degrees, just type 90, and there it is. Uh-oh. Let's pull it back. There it is. So now I can see it in my section. I can't quite see it in my floor plan. It looks like I moved it a little bit too far. So I'll use the align tool to bring it back to where I want it to be. And now I can see it here and I can move it using the arrow keys on my keyboard. I can move it back either way. Okay. Let's put the sink in there. I think the sink should be centered on the island. See if that works. Architecture, reference plane. I'm going to snap to the midpoint of that line, which should be that triangle. Let's see if we can find it. It's not letting me. So I'll put it here. I know my island's 8 feet, so I'll move that down 4 feet, and that would be the center of the island. I'm going to put my sink in now. Do we have a sink here? Yeah, we do. Click on that, right click, create similar, activate this view, and I just put it right here for now, but I can't see it. So let's look at the view range, VR for view range. And the sink is at 3 feet tall, but I'm cutting through the house at 1 foot. So I'll raise that up to 4 feet, and now I can see my sink. So what I mean by that is if you look at the sink, it's at 3 feet above the floor line, but my cut line was only 1 foot above. So if we're cutting across here in my view range, which is here, I can look, I see everything below that point, but I don't see anything above it. So I told Revit to cut at 4 feet above and look down. And now everything that's below the 4 feet line is visible. And you do that with the VR for view range, VR. And so it was cutting through at 1 foot, which would be, and looking down. So I'd only see everything that's from 1 foot down. So I said, well, we'll cut at 4 feet. And then I would be able to see everything from 4 feet down. And one of those things is the sink. So let's rotate this. Click on the object. Click on the command, which is rotate. Pick a point and start. Now see again, I'm just going to use the mouse to show the direction and type 90. And then I'll use the align tool to line up with the center of that. And then I can just use my arrow keys to move the sink back. Look at that. Zoom in a little closer. There's my sink now. Okay. Let's change that to consistent colors. Maybe you can see it a little bit better. Now I have my sink. I've got my countertop. I know that this goes underneath the sink. So right click, create similar, activate the view. Let's click right there. And the arrows are on the front of it. So obviously I need to rotate it. Select the object, rotate, click on a point of rotation. And now I'm going to just move this guy right there. And I'll go back to my section now. I want my cabinet to align with the midpoint of this. So I use my align tool, find the midpoint of the sink, which is there, and then come over here and find the midpoint of the cabinet, which is there. And then I'm just going to align the cabinet. Whoops. I'm going to align the cabinet to the edge of the countertop. So now let's look at it. That's what I did. I have my base cabinets and I could put some upper cabinets in there, and I put my appliances in there. I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to ask if anyone's having some issues here that they would like me to help them with, because I can just continue to go on and on and on, putting it in. But I think I've shown you enough last week and this week to help you lay out your kitchen. So does anybody need any help? Do they want to share their screen? It looks like I see a hand up there. And so,
Uh, Professor,
yes, speak up.
so the thing is, when I place the sink, like inside the basin of the sink, you could just see the top of the countertop. How do I fix that?
Okay, good question. Because you're absolutely right. The countertop would not go through the sink, would it? You see this here? So let's fix that. So there's several ways to do it, but let's click on the countertop. Let's click on Edit in Place. Let's click on it one more time and say Edit the Extrusion. And then we're going to draw a rectangle that represents an opening in the countertop. So there's another magenta there now. I'm going to say, okay. And I'm going to say, okay. And now it cut a hole in the countertop. So if we hide this, go down to the eyeglass and say hide element, you can see now that there is a hole cut in that countertop. So if you would like to share your screen, I'll walk you through it. Would you like to share your screen?
Like I I did something similar. Like I drew like a 3D extrusion on like just on top of the sink, and I did something called cut. I wasn't sure what I was doing, but it worked.
Yes, that is a more difficult way to do it, but it's absolutely correct because it accomplishes what you want. So what you said you did was basically clicked on this, edit in place. You want to create a void form, a void extrusion. Where does it go? We got to pay attention to the constraints there. But now I can draw a void extrusion and say, okay, and then cut it, and it cuts a hole. So you can use a void extrusion to cut a hole in your countertop, just like I did right there, using as a void extrusion. It's absolutely correct in the methodology. It's just a little bit more difficult in order to do it that way. But it's totally right. And I have done it that way for years. And then I realized, it's much easier to do it the way that I demonstrated it. So that's how I do it. But you're absolutely right. You can use a void extrusion. I'm going to delete that void extrusion, and because I don't want a hole in my countertop there. But yeah, void extrusion works. But you definitely have to cut a hole in your countertop in order to see the sink properly. And in real life, that's exactly what the countertop manufacturer would do, is he would cut a hole in the countertop so we could fit the sink into it, because obviously there's depth to the sink. And that's why we put this particular cabinet in front of or underneath the sink, is because it's made for that extra depth in the sink above it. But yeah, do you still want to share your screen and show us what you did? A
No, I just wanted to see what you did. I didn't see that part. Like your method.
little different, but still works. Yeah, both ways work. So I'm going to put a window in here in front of the sink now. Architecture, window. Let's take a look at the window sizes that we have here. I would probably like it to open. So this might be the one. I'll just click on the wall. There it is. Notice that it's going to cut a hole in the wall too, which is really nice. We don't have to cut a hole in the wall the way that we've cut a hole for the sink because it automatically cuts that hole. But now let's look at this section. So right now I just placed it and look at it, it's too low. So I can tell it where I want the sill height to be. Let's look at what the head height is there. That I would have to do some math about, but we can also do the sill height. We know the countertop is 3 feet. So let's move the sink or the window up 6 inches above the countertop. So I'm going to say make the sill at 3'6". And then I want the window to align with my sink. I'll use the align tool, click on the center of the sink, which is there, and then center of the window, which is there. And now, I think my window's in backwards, so I'll flip it. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. So now I have my window above the sink and my countertop below. And look at that, the window's colliding with the wall. So I'm going to take and grab all of this stuff and just nudge it down a little bit so that I can move it later on to get my even inches, but I know that now the window and the garage wall here don't conflict. And that's why I said originally not to be too concerned about your wall locations because they always change anyway. And that was a good example right there. I put my sink in centered on my island. I wanted a window in front of the sink, but that sink was crashing into the wall of the garage. So I simply moved the garage, moved it down a little bit. And I might end up needing more space and I'll just move that down because you know how easy it is to do that. So I'll hit that save button, which is a good thing. And I will ask if anybody else wants to share their screen to get a little bit of assistance because it will also help your fellow students. All right. Having heard,
Professor,
yes,
I also have a question about the cabinets.
great.
I was struggling to open the stacked walls, so I ended up using the cabinets within AutoCAD. Is that a problem?
Probably. Um, are they three-dimensional cabinets?
Let me just share my screen.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing and that'll allow you to share your screen.
Okay.
Take your time. We got plenty of it. Here it comes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. Let's take a look at it in 3D and see how it looks.
Okay. Uh, okay, I'm struggling to maneuver this.
That's all right. It's all new to you. So it takes time to know how to navigate. So on your above your ribbon, there's a little icon that looks like a house. And that's the button we want to click on. Yep,
Okay.
that's it. Okay. Now let's go up into the view cube, which is up to the right there. There's that view cube. Go over to the right
All right.
and then down. It's in the window itself. Keep going down just a little bit more. You see a view cube that has the word front on it.
Oh, this one. Okay.
Yep, click on front. Click on
Okay.
front. So that's going to give us a front view. And now we have that crop region. Click on that big box that's around there. And we're
Uh-huh.
going to drag it down, drag the top of it down. Go over to the left. There's a little icon. Drag that down right through the windows that you have there. Drag it down so it's right through the window. Yep, right there. That's good. Okay. Now you can go back up and click on any corner of that view cube, and that will show us a view of your house. Now let's zoom in on it, and we'll take a look at what you did. Well, I guess your cabinets are three-dimensional in from AutoCAD, so I guess that's okay.
Okay.
It looks good, but what about the base cabinets? The upper cabinets are, something's weird about the base cabinets. Let's zoom in a little closer on. All right, yeah, they're there. It's just the detail. We're not totally seeing the detail of those yet, but yeah, let's take a look at it in realistic, which is what you just clicked on. Yeah, okay. I like your countertop material. I like your cabinets. You've got, so what you did, it looks like maybe you used my upper cabinets and the base cabinets you got from AutoCAD, but they're three-dimensional, so I guess it's okay. Yeah. I like your stove. That looks really nice. That's a big stove. That's big and expensive stove. The kitchen layout looks good. You have a dishwasher. Looks like, yeah, you have a dishwasher next to the sink, which is a good idea. You have lots of windows in front of your sink, which is also really good. It looks like some of those upper cabinets stick out farther than, maybe not. Can we zoom in on the upper cabinets there and see, are they flush? Yeah, okay, they're flush. Yep, that looks good. You already put your vent hood above the stove, so that looks good. I like everything I see as far as the layout goes. You got a big, nice refrigerator in there. That looks good. Let's spin it around so we can see some more. Okay, you took my built-in cabinets, so it's got two ovens and a microwave, which is very nice. I like that too. Yeah. You gotta, what are you gonna do in the corner there? Are you gonna put some cabinets in the corner next to the ovens? Or are you gonna leave that?
This is like a pantry, so I'm gonna put shelves around.
That's fine, but let's go. Yeah, and I like that. That looks like a wine refrigerator, um,
Yeah.
which is very nice. But anyway, let's go between the refrigerator and the ovens. In your kitchen, you got some blank space above there. Are you gonna leave that? You're not gonna put any upper cabinets there?
Up here?
Go to the left.
Here.
There, yeah. You're gonna leave that open, which is fine. You're the architect, whatever you want to do.
Mm, like I haven't seen like any corner upper cabinets, so I wasn't sure what to do with this corner.
Well, they don't have to be on a diagonal. They can just well, maybe they should be on a diagonal in that case. Yeah. So
Yeah. I couldn't find any, so I just thought maybe let me just put one here and just leave it open like this.
All right, let's keep looking at your kitchen and maybe we'll add some stuff to it later, or maybe we won't. You're the architect, it's up to you. You've got what's missing? Anything? You got ovens, you got stove, you got refrigerator, you got sink, you've got dishwasher. I think you've got everything in your kitchen that is required for a kitchen. And I
Can you
like,
add a microwave?
yeah,
There's
the
a mic
microwave,
the microwave is over here.
yeah, in that cabinet. Now, if you take a look at, um, I'm going to take my screen back if that's all right, just to show you something real quick. Um, I also, let me just make this screen the big one. So I'm going to say, what do we have here? Tab views? No. What do we have here? Tab views? No. What do we have here? Okay, I'm going to say view, tab the views. Okay, so I just want the one. I also have right here, if you take a look at this, I have a microwave drawer, which would fit quite nicely in your island. Um, or you can leave it where it is, or you can have more than one microwave. This is, cost is no issue here. But this, I have a cabinet which this fits underneath the island. So let's rotate that 180 degrees. And then I can pull that right over there. So if we're looking at the 3D view, while you're sitting here in the breakfast nook, if you want to microwave something, you just come over here and it's a drawer. It pulls out like a drawer instead of opening like a door on a microwave. So I'm not saying you should or have to do that. I'm just showing you that there's that other option there for you to take a look at. So is to have a microwave under the island, which I think personally is a better place for it to be. These are much more expensive. Microwaves drawers are much more expensive than the typical microwave that probably all of us use, where you open the door up and it's a little bit higher, or it's on the countertop. But that's an option for you too. Um, but that looks really good. What else? Who else wants to share their screen, or did you have some more questions that you wanted to go over?
I have a question. I was absent last week, so I'm not sure if you went over like how to add furniture, like the stove and all that. So,
Yeah, I can do that. Let's take a look at the floor plan real quick here. I'm going to put the stove, I'm going to use that same stove. I'm going to put it over here. So we have this in our sections. We have stacked wall families. If we open that up, you can see the stove. I simply right click on top of it and say create similar, and then go back to that drawing, and it's attached to my mouse. I'll flip it around and I'll just put it right here for now, and then I'll get it where it should be. I want it to be lined up with the center of the island and the center of the sink, so I use the align tool. I find the center of the sink here. I find the center of that guy there, and now I'll move him back. But you can see that there's a countertop there, so I'll take this countertop and drag it down, and then use the align tool to the back wall and the back of that. Okay, so that's better. Maybe I pull this down a little bit more. Okay, and now I have to draw another countertop over there. But with your stacked walls, in that stacked wall of your sections, if you don't see it, that's because it's minimized. So if that's all you see, you just hit the little plus button and all of the things, all the sections will pop up. One of them is the stacked wall family. So we have all of these walls, but we also have all of these components. And that's the stuff that you want to put in. So I'll put the refrigerator in now. Click on it, right click with your mouse, create similar, go back to the floor plan, and I'm going to put the refrigerator over here. So notice I don't worry about getting it in perfectly to begin with. I kind of get it close, and then I use the align tools. Yeah, so let's look at that in 3D now. Yeah, so now shift this around, you can see I have the refrigerator there, the stove over here. I got a microwave under there. There's ovens in the stove, so I don't necessarily need that, but I'm going to put it in anyway, that stacked ovens. I'm going to take this, right click on top, create similar, go back to the floor plan. I don't know where to put that. I'm going to put it over here. Might be right, might not be. I'm going to hit the space bar till it gets oriented. Then I'll just drag this countertop back. I'll use the align tool to line it up that way, and then the align tool to line it up that way, and then the align tool to line my countertop. Now let's look at it in 3D. Yeah. So now I have 2 more ovens and a microwave over here. Got a microwave here if I want to do something from a breakfast nook. And I still need to put a countertop here. And that's the really nice thing about the 3D view, is sometimes when you're working on a floor plan, you think you did something, but you didn't do it exactly right. So the 3D view shows you that you did. And I can see that this guy needs to come over here. So I have a section through there that shows that I need to use the align tool to get this guy and this guy aligned. And then I wanted another one of these. I'm going to click on it and say mirror about this line right here, and it puts another one in right next to it like that. So I like that so far. If I go back to my 3D view, yeah, so it's showing me exactly what I'm doing here, and I'll put some upper cabinets there. I probably put a sink in the island too, a smaller sink. So let's do that. Let's go to the first floor dimension. We're going to go architecture tab, component, click the picture here, and then it defaults, the cursor goes right to the search. I'm just going to type sink and see what other sinks are available here. And sure enough, I got a little sink there. I wouldn't do a vanity sink, but I might do this single sink right there. So let's put that sink in. This might not be a bad spot. I'll hit the space bar and put that sink right there. So now I need to cut this. So I click on my island, edit in place, click on it again, edit extrusion, and now I'm just going to draw the perimeter of that opening or void space. This is just an easier way to cut that countertop. Now let's look at it in 3D. Yeah, so now I have a sink over here, and I got a nice sink over here. I got a microwave here, refrigerator. I don't have any dishwasher. I'm going to put a dishwasher on both sides. So let's do that. Back to the stacked walls. Here's my dishwasher. Right click, create similar, go back to here. I don't worry about it where it is exactly, but I put it in. I know, wait a second. That looks like that's the front. So let's flip it. I might be wrong about that. I think I am. So I don't know if it's right or wrong. Let's go back to that section. No, that's the front. Yeah, I think that's the front. Maybe not. Let's go back to And we'll flip it around. And we'll look at it. No, it was the other way was the front. Where the arrows were is always the front. So I've got a dishwasher here on this side. I will mirror it about the midpoint of here, and I've got a dishwasher on that side. Let's look at it in 3D. No, there's nothing right. Oh, see now in my section, I wasn't able to tell that I didn't move the dishwashers back, but the 3D reminded me of that. So let's fix that right now. Go back to 3D. Yep. Now I'm going to put some drawers here, and I'll put some drawers here. And so let's do that. Go to the first floor dimension, and then this. I want to put some of these drawers in here. Right click, create similar, back to the floor plan. I'm just going to hit the space bar, and I think it's about right there. Drop it in. Let's look at it. No, it's backwards, or else I'm cutting through it. So I'm going to push it back a little bit more and then go back to that view. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so how wide of a space do I have here? Let's measure that. From here to here is 10 and 11/16 inches. Now these guys come standard, not in 3-inch increments, but I'm going to make this one, what did we say that was? Let's measure it again. I'm going to copy that, Control C. I just copied the length of it, or the width of it. Now I'm going to click on this guy, edit the type, and we get this box coming up. Let me make it a little bit smaller. I'm dragging it from my other screen over to here. So we're going to duplicate it, and we're going to call it that distance wide. So it's going to be a custom width. And then we're going to look at the width and we're going to change it. Here's our width right here. That's weird. Anyway, that's the width, so I have to change the width. There it is. To that distance. And now this guy is exactly that width. And we'll align it here and here. And then we're going to go back to the floor plan and we'll pull it back. So we'll use the align tool again, here to there. Let's go back to see what we did. Yep, there we go. Now I want the same thing over here for symmetry. So I'm going to grab this one, mirror about the midpoint of this guy. And now look at that. I have drawers on, I have my sink in my window. I've got my dishwashers. I've got my drawers. I'm going to put some more drawers in there. But for now, let's look at it in 3D and see what we have. Look at that. It starts to develop up pretty nicely. I still have lots of space here. I'm not going to put cabinets base cabinets all the way across because I'm going to make this is to be a desk area. In the breakfast nook, we'll have a little desk area where you can do whatever you would do relative to the household chores, like pay the bills, put the mail, whatever. Or maybe your kids will do their homework right here while you're working in the kitchen. So let's look at, it's pretty fast. Once you understand what you want to do and you understand how to do it, it's not that difficult. So I'm here to help you progress on your kitchen. Once we get the kitchen in, we're going to put a ceiling in the kitchen. We're going to put some lights in the kitchen. And then we're going to do some renderings so that you can see what that looks like in a photographic um, in a more photographic image than what we're looking at here, because this is a little cartoonish. We can say realistic. We click that realistic button, it will render it a little bit more realistic, but we can really make it look like a photograph. I'm looking at this and it seems like this might be all right, but it looks like it might be a little bit. That's probably just the toe kick that we're seeing there. So that's okay. So let's change this material. Click on it. Edit the type. I'm looking for material. Let's see. Is it over here? Edit in place. There we go. Then I'll click on it. And the material's over here. I'll click on these three little dots. And we'll see what we got for in our library. Look at all the materials we can have. I have a green material, which I like. So I'm just going to type green and it will show me. I call it great green marble. Oh, it's not going to work yet. Okay. So I don't have the image of that material selected yet. So I could show you how to do that, and we're recording it, so you can look at this recording later, or you can pay attention now. But I'm going to go to the internet, and I'm going to get a material. There we go. So I'm going to search for green marble. Let's see if we get some pictures. We're going to look for images. There we go. There's some good stuff. Let's pick this one. I'm going to save that image to my school library. It should go in this class, and we'll call it green. Okay. Now, I can go back to Revit. I want to go to Manage, Materials, and this marble, I want to give it a picture. So it's asking me, where is the picture? I'm going to go to this class. And tell it that I want the material to look like that. And now it does. So I've gone out to find a picture of the material that I want it to look like. And then I've told it to look like that. This one could stay the other material, but this one I want to be the marble. So we click on it, click on the word, the three little dots pop up. I'm going to type green. Everything with the word green in it's going to come up. Great new marble. Say okay. Say okay. And now I have that. And I'll leave this one cherry. And I can see I have to put some more countertop over there. Hit the save button. And if I can help you by sharing the screen and we'll walk our way through it, that would be fine. And if everyone just wants to keep working on their project without sharing their screen, then I'm just going to continue to work on the kitchen. We are recording this, so you'll be able to work on your project and then come back and watch this video at a later time, or you can watch it now and not work on your project, assuming that I'm not going to get any other people that need to share their screen. And that's the idea of this class, is to share your screen so we can get you progressing. So does anybody want to share their screen right now? Ask a question.
Professor, I had a question.
Okay, let's hear it. You want to share your screen?
Oh no, it's about like submitting the assignment for this week.
Yes.
Is there any way that you can maybe make it due at midnight because school is closed Monday to Wednesday, so I would have a little hard time working on it because I usually do my work on the Revit computers in school.
Well, today's uh, submission is not due till 10 o'clock next Friday.
No, yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying like Monday through Wednesday there's no school, and Thursday like I work, so Friday I would try to do it after class because I don't use Revit on my personal computer. I have a Mac. I do it on the school computer.
Understood. So to get the 2-point credit, submit it today.
I know, but I'm home right now. I'm on my MacBook with that doesn't have Revit.
Okay, that does add a little bit more complexity to it.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I'll try to get it in. I really think I should be able to, but I just wanted to just bring that to your attention.
do you have your PDF from the previous week?
Yeah, I have everything saved on my OneDrive.
Well, then you're you can submit that today
Okay.
for
All
the two
right.
points. So that's does that make sense?
But it would be my same assignment that I submitted from submitted
Yes,
today.
I did say, and I'll say it again, your credit, your 2 points credit are for submitting something. It's not that you've got any progress. It's simply for
Oh,
for the submission. Now, if you submit progress, I can look at that and then I can help you, I can help you from looking at what your work, put some comments on your drawings. But if you submit the same thing every week, you still get the 2 points, if that
okay.
makes sense. So tell me that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense, Professor. I understand now.
It's great. So I'm going to go make that folder right now. Let's do that right now so that it's there.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, my pleasure. Does anybody else have any questions? Let me make that folder for today's work.
Oh, Professor.
Yes.
So last week I was absent and I tried to send you an email, but the email's bounced back saying the email didn't exist. So I'm not sure if there's another email that I could try.
I'll type it on the screen in just a second. Let me make the folder for today's, and then I'll type my email and we'll compare that to what you sent it to and see if there's an issue.
Okay.
I just want to make that is in the assessments.
Professor, question.
Yeah, give me a minute here.
Oh,
This is Okay, so there's a folder on Brightspace. It says Friday, September 19th, sheet set submission. It is due on or before noon next Friday. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay,
So today's work or whatever we do during the week gets submitted by then, right?
right. Now you can submit it today, or you can submit it anytime up to noon next Friday. So
Okay.
second thing is let's put my email on here just and compare that to where you sent it. So that should go through to me. Is that where you sent the email?
Yeah, that's what I sent it to, but Outlook automatically sent me like a email back saying, let me just, um, yeah, it's the same email that I wrote.
Okay, so that means out of my control. Try another one right now with my email open. Let's see what happens.
Okay, let me try. Okay, I just sent another email. Let's see. Did you get it? Oh, wait, let me see what it says. Yeah, it says it got sent.
Yeah, I don't see it yet. Uh,
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, but in the email, I also asked about the bubble diagram from 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure where to submit that, like in what link.
oh, for that, you just want to put that on your drawing. Do you want to share your screen and I'll walk you through it?
I'm on my iPad right now, and I'm in the PC in the separate screen, so
Okay.
yeah, the Zoom call is not connected.
All right, so I'm gonna go, you see my screen, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna go to one of my sheets. We put that on the first sheet, which is the site location sheet list. You want to put your bubble diagram here. So I don't have one, so I'm going to go to the internet real quick and get a bubble diagram.
Oh, and yeah, I got the same delivery mail. Like it bounced back. I just got it right now.
All right, we'll deal with that in a second, but let's see. Okay, so I want to insert the bubble diagram that I just copied from the net. You have your own version, but anyway, so we go to the insert tab,
Mm-hmm.
we import an image, that's this bubble, this icon. And then we go navigate to wherever your bubble diagram picture is. You can just take a picture of it with your phone and then click on the picture and say, okay. And then we click on it here. We're gonna drag it to make it much smaller, but that's our bubble diagram. And that you don't submit it other than putting it on a sheet, wherever you think it looks best. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go back to the email issue, and I'm going to send you an email from my email, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so new mail. Well, yeah, that'll work. So let's see. Tell me your address.
Okay, I'm gonna add it right in the chat.
Okay, that makes sense. That's very convenient. Then I can just copy it.
Let me double check. Yes, that. Just sent it. Yeah, I get your emails. Let me reply to it.
Exactly. Let's see what happens.
You know what it is? It might be the fact that maybe the R and the B are capital letters. I
I
don't know.
don't believe it, but I just got it
Yeah.
back from you. I don't think that the upper or lowercase matters, but I could be wrong. But that came back.
Yeah. All right. So if I feel like I need to email you, I'll probably just reply to that.
Well, yes, but for you and for everybody else, a text message is much better.
Text message is better?
Well, it's more likely to get uh, immediate attention or quick attention, whereas the email, I might not see it for hours or days. So text message is definitely better.
Okay. What phone number? Because I didn't get to write it the first day. The first day I think you erased it.
I will put it in the chat to follow your idea, which is pretty good. And that should work for everybody.
Yes.
We got it. Okay. So that's good. So there's my bubble diagram, which I've borrowed from somebody else. I can do it because it's for demonstration purposes only. I'm not going to claim that as my work. And I would like you all not to claim someone else's work as your own as well. Do your own work. So, all right. So I'm going to pause here and see if anybody has any questions, and we're gonna share their
I
screen.
do.
Yes. Would you like to share your screen?
Well, I can't share my screen. I didn't know the class was online today, so I'm at school on my phone. I wanted to know if for this week's assignment for the teaching, do we have to render to submit? Render to submit it?
No, you don't. We're
No?
going to go over rendering and how to do
Okay.
it, but you don't have
Okay.
to do a rendering on your work. It would be to your
Okay.
advantage, but it's not required.
Okay, great. Because I wasn't sure how to do it. All right, thank you.
But just a reminder again, today's submission is due on or before noon next Friday. So although it's today's date, it isn't due until next Friday up until 12 o'clock noon. right before the class starts. So you have plenty of time to submit it. But if you think there's going to be a problem, then we would just submit it today. And I give credit for the submission, not for the content of the submission. The only thing that is important in the content is, number one, that it has your name here. And number two, that all of the content of your work fits inside of the title blocks. So before you I would suggest you print it once, look at it, and if anything is outside of the title block, then go fix that particular sheet and then print it a second time. So it's not that difficult, I don't believe anyway. So does anybody else have any questions, or should I just go back to finishing up, putting in the good stuff in the house while you're doing the same thing? Yes.
So you answered my question about the bubble, but like, where do I submit it? Like, do I send it to you in email or?
All right, good question. There is no, I don't open up any attachments on email. So in the assessment area, in the assignments, there are folders for today's submission, last week's submission, the week before that. So you simply go there and upload your file in the proper folder. You see that on Brightspace?
Yes.
Open that up and it says add a file or something to that effect.
For today's folder?
Yeah.
Okay. You got it.
Don't see it yet, but I'm refreshing and nope, not there yet.
Oh no, wait, I haven't submitted it. I'm looking at the thing, but
okay, as long as you know how to do it, that's great.
okay.
All right, so I'll keep talking while you're working. You can watch or whatever. I do find that this is a Surface Pro. It's a very small screen. I work on a much larger screen. It's much easier, but when I do my demonstrations on that larger screen, it's harder for you to see what I'm doing. However, it's nice to have multiple windows open to work on, but because my screen on my Surface Pro is so small that it isn't that easy to work with multiple screens open. But anyway, I'm going to close this one and I'm going to say WT. And then I type ZA for Zoom All. Well, I don't need this one, so I can close that. And yeah, let's see if I can drag this guy over here. Yep, okay. So I have my 3D view here. If I had a bigger monitor, that would be much easier, but I don't. And this is my section view, so this is very helpful. But look at my crop region isn't showing the whole house, so I just pulled that out a little bit. All right, I like that. I'm going to put like a desk area over here. I'm not going to drop it down though, so it's going to, most desks are not 36 inches high, so we'd have to have a taller chair over here. But I want to put some more, there's not enough, well, no, let's do that. I'm going to grab this one and this one, and I'll mirror it about the midpoint of here. So I still have some symmetry there. And then I think let's copy this over here. I'm going to make it a little bit wider. So I click on this object and let's see what other sizes are available. 36 would be nice. Oh, yeah, I like that. So I'm going to align the edge of there. And then I'm going to take another 36-inch and I'm just going to copy that from where to there, from there to there. And there we go. Now the mid section there is where the chair would fit. So I'll spin that around. There's my beginning of my kitchen, and I've got some really wide drawers here. Maybe I don't know. Let's see what else is available here. These, yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll leave it like that. But that might not be wide enough. Let's measure it. That's 3 feet wide. I think we would want a little bit more, so I'll make this guy smaller. Instead of 36, what other options do we have? Let's do 27. I'm just trying to make to make this guy the same as this, I'm going to use the match properties. So I just click on that guy and I click on that guy and they become the same. So now what I was trying to do was just make this opening a little bit wider. Maybe it doesn't need to be that wide. Yeah, so now that seems like it might be a little bit too wide. So let's make it 30. So I click on this one. Let's see, do I have a 30-inch one in there? I certainly do not. So what do? Edit the type. Duplicate. I'm going to call it 30 inches. And then make the width 30 inches. Everything else stays the same. Say, okay, so now this guy's 30 inches. Match properties. 30 inches. I need to align it. And this one looks like he's got to go. What I'm doing is I click on the object. I use the arrow keys to move it over. I move it farther than I need to, and then I just hit align. I like that. Okay. So that looks pretty good so far. Let's get some upper cabinets in there now. Right click, create similar, activate that. How wide is this one? This guy's 24 inches, so these should be 24 inches, and they are. So if I align this and this lines up with that. I can copy this over from where? From here to where? To there. All right. And then what am I going to do about this? Don't know, but I do know I'm going to do this. Mirror that about the midpoint of the windows. So should I do something or just leave it alone? So that's part of the design process. And anytime I pause to think about something, I hit the save button. So let it save while I'm thinking. Do I want another cabinet up there? I can't go all the way across and line up with the dishwasher because that would be inside the window. And if I lined up just with the edge of this one, it's too small, probably. It's all right. We'll just leave it like that. Okay. So far, so good. I like what I'm seeing over here. All right. That looks pretty good. Let's work on the island. Now, I want people to sit on the island. I want them to sit on this side. So this sink might be in the way, or they just sit over here. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to let them sit just over here. So let's look at that in a plan view. There we go. So they're just going to sit right here. Architecture component. Let's see what we have as far as chairs go. There we go. Let's try that chair right there. See what happens. It said I can't see it. Yet it's there. I put two of them. Oh, maybe not. All right. Now this might be too high. Let's see. We'll come out. We want to look at a section that goes through there. So I'll come up to a drawing that has a section, and I want to grab this guy and just pull him up to there. And right click and say go to view. And yeah, that chair looks like it would be difficult to sit in there. So what do we have? Can we make the chair any? We don't have any options here to make it smaller. I just think it's too. If we look how there's not much leg room there. So we need to make the height of it smaller, or let's do this. Insert, load Autodesk family. And we're going to go over and see what's in the Autodesk library. Maybe we can get something else out of there. So I'll bring that over. We're looking for, oh, would that be under furniture? I think so. Let's look at they have in furniture. Oh, yeah, bar stool, but that's probably too tall also. This might be too low. Maybe not. Let's load that into the project and we'll see. Architecture component. We just loaded the brewer. So I'll search for BR chair. There it is. And let's see, that is too low. This one's too tall. We got the Three Bears thing going on here. This one's too low. All right, let's rotate it around. Yeah, see, there's too much leg room there. All right, let's go back and see what else we have in the library. Insert, load a family. We don't want that chair. Ooh, maybe we can use a lab stool. Let's see how that works. Architecture component lab stool, we'll put it right there. Look at that. Now that's too high. Let's see if it has any ability. Sometimes they have the ability to change the height of it, but nope, let's see if this one has the ability to change the height of it. Nope. So the other place to go is Revit City. I don't know if we've talked about that or not yet. So let's do that. I'm going to go over here to Revit City. Now, this is another source for objects. You have to join, it doesn't cost anything. You don't have to join to search the library, but if you want to download anything, you do have to join. So I've joined. I'm going to search for chairs. And let's see what they have in the form of chairs. That's not a very fast site. It takes a while. So let's see what they got. We want a chair that's not a desk chair because the desk chair would be lower. And we want a chair that's a little higher than a outdoor bar chair. I don't know. Bar height. We can try it. Yeah, let's try it. That might work. Let's try it. Download it. And what Revit City is basically is a bunch of architects and Revit users who don't see exactly what they want, then they make it what they want, and then they load it into, they upload it to Revit City. All right, so now here's the object. Now I have to load that into the project. Okay, and then we're going to put that baby right here and see what happens. Component. It's not a lab stool. It was a bar stool, I think. Some type bar. Outdoor bar chair. And let's spin it around so that it's oriented correctly. And then we'll go to that section and see if it's, I don't know where that section went. Don't know what that is. That guy looks too high. Sometimes they give parameters that we can change. I don't necessarily want to do a tutorial on modifying family, but I guess that's what we're going to have to do. I'm going to keep looking in Revit City for a while, though. See what else we can find. So we're searching for a chair. See what other chairs come up. Something good. We'll use it. Otherwise, we're going to have to modify one of the chairs ourselves. I like this site. I use it a lot. Oh, design. All right, still looking. If we don't find a good one, ooh, we'll have to modify it. All right, we're going to use this one. Let's see what happens. Now it's asking to upgrade the model because it was drawn in a earlier version of Revit. So we work in 2026. That might have been drawn in 2020. So, all right, there it is. Ooh. Well, yeah, this is not good for us. All right, we'll take this one and fix it. So I didn't want to do a tutorial on editing a family, but in Revit, they're called families. In AutoCAD, they're called blocks. We need to modify this block. So let's double click on it and let's close everything else except for that one. So I'll just do it this way. That was a mistake. Okay, so see, let's see. I'm going to raise the legs up by 6 inches, basically. So I just put in a reference plane there. And so let's see what happens if we drag these legs up. Might work, might not, didn't. All right, that was too easy. So we're going to edit the extrusion. And I lost my reference plane. So we're going to edit the extrusion, but I got to put that reference plane back in. Because when I undid, I went back too far. Okay, so we have our reference plane in there. This is an extrusion. Edit it. We're just going to drag everything up to that. Lines cannot intersect each other. Okay, yeah, see that has to be a closed entity. Might be all right. Yep, we are. Okay, now we're going to edit this extrusion. So all we're doing is changing, whoops, I didn't want to do that. Drag this up to there, this up to there, and then fill it this. Okay. So now the chair is 6 inches shorter. So let's load that into the project. Oh, close. I closed the other project. So we have to open it up again. Not a big deal. So I tried to load it into another project and it said there's no other project open. So now we'll load that into the project. We're going to overwrite it and then we'll take a look at it. All right, I want to see the section line going through the chair. Nope. So we'll go to that view. Don't see the chair there, so we'll go back to we loaded it into the project, but we didn't put it in yet. So we'll put the component in. CHAIR. I think it's this one. G for visibility graphics, F for furniture. Furniture was turned off. That's why we couldn't see it. Now we can. Let's rotate that. And we want to make sure the section goes through that. We'll go to that view. Yep, there's the chair. Now look at it, it's floating 6 inches off of the floor because we raised the legs up. So let's say we wanted it to be -6 inches. And that should put it down, and it did. That looks better. Now we can put some chair. Now it looks like we could sit there. So we'll go back to here. Let's pull this guy down a little bit more. Copy from here to here to here. And we can only put 3 in. All right, we'll spread them out then. All right, let's look at it in 3D. I like it. I've got some chairs there. So we're going to put some more cabinets here, but that's going to be open for the chairs. Sink. So we could put that sink over here, but we really already have a sink there. This sink is more for, but I don't know, maybe that doesn't work either. We're preparing something and we'd have to, I'm gonna leave it there. Or, no, I'm gonna leave it there. Because in this case, I'm the architect. All right, so what do we have? We want to look at our stacked walls and we want to close everything else. This one is the chair. We're going to X out of that. And we're going to say no, we don't want to save it because we'll keep the original. Now I want to go back to the first floor, type WT so that I have the 2 views, ZA for zoom A so that everything fits in. And I need to get some base cabinets over here. What kind of base cabinets do we want? I don't think we have enough drawers. Create similar, drop that over here. We're gonna rotate that 90 degrees. And then we'll just throw that over here like that. Where's our section? We have that section, but now it's looking in the wrong direction. So we'll click those 2 little arrows and then we'll say, go to that view. Now I can see that's what I put in there. This should be wider. So we'll do the 24 inches. I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to say this dashed line represents the depth of field of my section. And I'm able to see the chairs in the background, and that's confusing me. So I'm going to say, don't go so deep. So now it won't show me anything on that side of this dashed line. That's the depth of field of my section. So when I go back to that section, I'm not confused. I don't have all that clutter in the background. And I can align that to here. And let's copy it again. And let's Let's see what happens if we copy it again. Oh boy, did we get lucky. Look at that. It's perfect. Let's look at it in 3D again. What's this? Guess I closed down the 3D view, so we'll pull it back up again. Let's look at it. Yeah. And the advantage of looking in 3D is I can see that I didn't push them far enough back. So back to the first floor. Use my align tool. I want to align to this. This time I want to do multiple. So I've selected what that is, and then I can click on this one, and I can click on this one, and I can click on this one. But it's always a good idea to uncheck that afterwards because it often messes you up. So the only difference is I didn't have to say align to this and then click that and then say align to this and click that and align to this. I was able to pick this and align multiple objects to it. Let's look at it again. How does that look? I like it. Look at that. That looks pretty good. Got a little place for people to sit and watch while you're cooking. We still got to put a base cabinet underneath here. I don't know if we have one. So we might have to modify this one. Easy enough. Let's see. What do we have here? Under sink, double door. Well, we have much narrower ones. Okay, so let's use that. We're going to go back to the floor plan. We're going to say, well, if this is selected and I pick something else, it's going to change what I've selected. So I make sure I hit escape, escape, make this the active view, architecture component. We're looking for the one that says under sink, and we'll use the 24 incher. We'll see if that's okay. This guy needs to be rotated. Just pull it back there a little bit. Now, there's my section. I'm going to drag it over to here, but now it's looking in the wrong direction. I click those little arrows here and say go to view. There it is. So this might be okay. Might be. Maybe it should be a little wider. So I highlight it. And instead of being 24, let's try 30. Yeah, 30 is going to be okay. There we go with that. Let's look at it in 3D. Yeah, it's still sticking out way too far. Easy to fix. Align. Click here and here. Now let's look at it in 3D. Good enough. Yeah, all right, so look at that. We got a double sink and a base cabinet here with a sink, a little place for people to sit. We can do some prep work here. Not real happy about that, but that's okay. Hit the save button. Now I think it's a good place to pause here and ask if anybody wants some help, because I just demonstrated a little bit more. But how can I help somebody who wants to share their screen and show what's going on?
Professor.
Somebody's going to share their screen and we'll figure out. Looks like it's going to be Victor.
No, I have a question. Because I was working on the project and I didn't know like what is the shortcut to go for the 3D overview. The overview.
I did understand some of your question, but can you share your screen?
Yes. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, and then maybe I can navigate you through that.
Hold on. I have a mess, honestly, but I'm gonna fix it. Uh,
We have plenty of time. There's never a reason to rush in this class.
okay, can you see it now?
Yes, I can, and it looks good.
So as you see, this is my kitchen. Well, I have a problem on the floor. I don't know why it did. As you can see, you see the part of the basement. Like the question I'm asking, because it's been difficult for me. Like, why is the key for the 3D orbit?
You want to put the floor in?
Yeah, but yeah, but also I'm asking like the shortcut to use the 3D orbit. Like we're flipping it around instead of using the cube all the time.
Yes, okay. I'm gonna take it back, and I'll show you uh, how much easier it is than the view cube to do that. So I think you can see my screen now.
Let me stop sharing.
So so I take and hold down the shift key on the
Okay,
keyboard, and I push down the mouse wheel on the mouse.
okay,
And then you can move the mouse, and when you move the mouse, that rotates it around.
okay.
Now, the other thing is that I generally, a lot of times it's like it's a goofy move, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to spin it around. I generally click on something, and that becomes the center of the rotation. So then it
Okay.
rotates right around whatever you've highlighted, because sometimes it'll zooming around where it's the center point is like way out here, and it just gets really weird. So highlight the thing that you wanted to rotate about, and then that becomes the center point of the rotation, which makes it much easier. And what I
Yep.
did was I held down the shift key, push the mouse wheel straight down, and then all you have to do is move the mouse on the whichever way you move it, that's going to rotate this around, and it makes it a lot easier than this. This is not
Yeah.
easy to do
Yeah.
for
That's
me
right.
anyway. All right, the second thing is we wanted to put your floor in.
Yep.
So I'm going to stop sharing, and if we can share your screen again.
Yep. So. Okay.
Okay, so let's go to a floor plan, first floor plan.
Um, oh my God. Okay.
All right, so we're not able to see your entire floor plan, so you want to activate the crop region, which is down at the bottom left of your screen,
This one.
and keep going to the right. One more, right there. Click there. Nope, right. Yeah, that was it to the left. Right there, right straight up. Yep, that one. Click on that one.
I'm sorry.
Yep, that was the one right there.
Okay. The. Okay. The.
Um,
The what? No. I mean.
sure didn't. Don't usually work with a black background, so that's okay.
No.
There it is. Yeah. So you see the box that's drawn around your house right now?
Yes.
click on the actual box. Yeah, right there. Okay, now you have little grips there. Grab those grips and drag it out. Very good.
All right.
Because we want to see everything of your house. Because if I recall correctly, you've got a very complicated,
Yep.
excellent house. And I was telling my friends about how most of the students do a very simple house, and you have chosen to really make it complicated, which is impressive.
I mean, like I want to do this project, because I want to do that because someday you never know if I want to this whole first plan. So I thought about like for the house of my dreams. And that's what I did that way. I'm sorry. Oh man, I apologize.
You'll get it.
Mm. Mm. I apologize for this.
We're not in any hurry here. Take your time.
Oh, come on. Okay, there we go.
All right. Now, if you don't want to see that border, then go back down and click on the icon again and it will disappear.
And it was this one, the.
Nope.
Mm.
There you go. That was it.
All right.
You didn't click on
Okay.
it. You did select, you did get to the right one.
So now.
One more to the right.
This one?
Three more to the right.
Mm.
Two more. There you go, right there.
This one.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. There was no.
Now, the one that has the red X, you want to click on that one. And then the one next to it with the light bulb, click. Yes. All right. So now we want to put the floor in, but let's pick a different first floor. Let's do the one that says first floor dimensioned. In your project browser, pick the one that says first floor dimension.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in this one, we don't want to see the floor colors or the room colors.
Okay.
So we're going to type VG for visibility graphics. Just type VG on your keyboard.
Okay. Okay. See?
Victor George.
As it, but
V for Victor, G for George.
I'm pressing BG, but nothing show up.
Not at the same time, just press V and then press G.
I think it was VG.
V for Victor,
Yes, and G for gold,
golf. Yes.
but it's not working.
Interesting. Okay. I want to get the colors turned off on that one. So the other way to do that is we do have a visibility graphic button up in your properties box. So we're going to click on that one. In the properties box, there should be we're on the first floor. We're going to X out of that. Okay. There should be, if you scroll down, there should be a VG. Yes, there is. There's a visibility in your properties dialog box, which I don't see on your screen. You might not have it open. So let's do that first. Go up to the View tab. Yes.
And
And over to the user interface. Yep.
so which one is it? System browser?
I don't see it. I don't, are you using two screens maybe?
No.
So the user interface should pop up when you, let's click on it again and see what happens.
Mm-mm. It doesn't show.
Interesting. Let's see. There is a visibility graphics button on the left
Yeah,
side of the
right here.
room. Let's try that.
Okay. This shouldn't show pop up.
I'm not seeing, maybe it's my screen. I'm not seeing your visibility. All right, let's click the view button again.
Okay.
And it should give you, now let's, I guess, hit escape on the keyboard because we're in something that I don't know what's going on here. All right, now user interface. Is there a drop down arrow there?
No.
Usually not. That is, all right, I'm going to share my screen just to show you what I'm looking for.
Okay.
But can you see my screen now?
Yes, I do.
So we have a properties box and a project browser.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm trying to get to see from yours. Now, when I hit the view tab and I hit user interface, we get this box popping up. And that's what I'm looking to pop up on your screen, but I'm not seeing it because we want to make sure that if we don't click properties and we don't click browser, then we don't see either one of them. But if we go user interface and we click on properties and we click on project browser, then we can see those. And we really need to see these items in order to navigate your system. So I'm going to let you share your screen again. And let's see if we can figure out you're not working on a Mac, right?
No.
Okay. So I'm very confused as to why we're not able to see those things pop up. But we'll figure it out.
User interface. And no, it's not here. Properties or check in. For example, for now.
All right, so what I'm going to do is what I do when I get stumped. I'm going to go to Copilot and we'll ask it. So in Revit, all right, the classic. All right, I'm going to share my screen so you can see what Copilot said, because this is what I do when I get stumped, and I often get stumped. Okay, so it says the classic vanishing dialog box trick. Revit loves to keep us on our toes. If you're clicking on the user interface and the dialog box doesn't appear, it's likely being sneaky and hiding off screen. Here's how to coax it back into view. Try this sequence to bring the hidden window back. Click the command that should open the dialog box. So click the command that should open the dialog box. Press Alt.
Press Alt.
Press any arrow. Okay, so it says click the command that should open the dialog box, which would be the command which we said was this user interface.
User interface, yeah.
Okay, so now it says press Alt and the space bar.
And the space bar. Okay.
All right. And then press M for move, and then press any arrow key. It's not working.
Nope, it's not working.
Right.
Press R. No, it's not working. Oh boy.
All right. Copilot is about 1% good. So let's use Grok, because Grok, I think, is a better solution. So, all right. So in Revit, the so we're asking Grok, and we'll see what Grok says. I like Grok better for Revit questions anyway.
Okay.
So the first thing it said was it might be a second monitor, which you said you're not using. All right, they gave the same. So we want to see the properties box. How to,
Yeah.
so it's going to tell us. Okay, here's another way to do it. So can you see my Revit screen now?
Yes.
It said click on an object and then right click and then click properties. So I'm going to let you share your screen and we'll see if that works. So we
Okay.
click on any object, it doesn't matter which one.
Okay.
Click on
So
anything. Well, hit
click,
escape,
right
escape.
click.
Yep, that's good. Click on that and then right click with your mouse.
Yeah, I did. Skip, skip. Wait. So click, right click, and then
That should have also brought up the properties box, which I see it's not doing.
it's not doing it.
Well, all right, up in the top left corner, there's a properties icon. So let's click on that.
It's right here.
It's still not showing up.
No. Oh boy.
That without that properties dialog box and the project browser, it's very difficult.
To work.
It's basically impossible to navigate around and use Revit. So how about this? Can you
Yep.
close, close your program, turn off your computer, and turn it back on, and start the program again, and maybe that will self-fix something that we're unaware of?
Yep. I can do that.
Okay.
I mean, you said turn off my computer and then turn it back on?
Yeah,
Okay. Give me a second.
but close your
Yes.
program first,
Yep.
all your programs.
Yeah, let me save it just in case.
So you're going to have to log back into, you're going to have to log back into Zoom also, but that's fine. We'll get you there.
Okay. I'll be back.
Arnold Schwarzenegger said that I'll be back. All right, Victor, while you're doing that, I'll ask if anybody else needs some help, has a question.
That would be me, Professor.
All right, let's share your screen.
Okay, so my issue is I opened up the website you were talking about,
Revit
and
City.
yeah, and I found this. I want these tools, but I can't get them individually. It brings the whole table with it.
Okay. And you want to get rid of the table and you only want one chair.
Yeah.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to edit the family. So double click on any part of it. All right, hit the red X up there because that didn't work. Click on it once, just once. Click on the chair.
Oh, the chair. Okay.
Yeah, let's try that. All right. Okay, so hit the ungroup button. Okay, I think that's an individual chair. Now you should be able to delete the other ones. All right, that's what you wanted, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now you want to load that into the project. Now let's go to your project and it should be in your library to use. Architecture component.
Ah, here it is.
Yep.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
All right. All right, Victor's coming back in. Let's hope we have some success. All right, Victor, let's keep our fingers crossed and hope that when you
Hopefully.
open it back up again, you got those boxes available, or at least we can make them visible.
Hopefully, you'll see. Oh boy. The program is opening up.
It's all right. Don't feel rushed. We got plenty of time.
Okay, it's open. Let me see my screen now. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Well, we don't see it, but let's go to the View tab and the user interface.
It's the same.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yep. Oh boy.
Trying to think what could possibly go to the architecture tab. Let's see if I go to the modify. Let's click on the modify tab up there and see what happens when you do that one. Yeah, see, you do have the properties box icon over there on the ribbon. And when we
Mm-hmm.
click on that, it should bring up your properties dialog box. You see the properties box all the way on the left, Victor?
Yeah. This one?
You're clicking it.
Yes, this one. But
Yeah, you're doing the right thing.
it's yeah. But I don't say like the orbit like like oh boy.
All right, there's a keyboard shortcut. Let's try typing PP on your keyboard.
PP?
Yep.
Nope, nothing show up. Just do it. Cancel. PP. Nope. Here it is.
All right, well, I don't know how we're going to do this, but we're going to try it anyway. We're going to hit the architecture tab. And what we wanted to do was floors. So let's click on floors. And see, without the properties dialog box, I don't see how we can pick which type of floor we want. But let's go over and click that rectangle. In the draw area, we're going to click the rectangle. Yep. Yeah. And then pick the two corners of the kitchen, the top left and the bottom right. Yep. Yep. Okay. So the weird thing now, if we could see the properties box, then we would be able to tell it what kind of floor we want in the properties box. So let's click that properties button over there on the left again, just to see if it'll pop it up.
Nope.
Oh, see, without the properties box, we can't tell what the floor material is. So let's hit the green check mark. We'll accept whatever it defaulted to. I don't know which one it is. All right. Now we need to go to the sheet that has the section.
View.
Yeah, we're gonna, so that would be like a different floor plan, first floor plan. It shows the sections in it.
Oh. So
how do you, yeah, so how do you open up a different floor plan if you don't have the dialog box? How do you do that? Tell me how you're doing that.
I work on the like I click on the first floor
now
plan.
How did you pick that first floor?
From here, from the template you gave us.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, let me take the screen back because this is a mystery to me now.
Okay.
Maybe we can troubleshoot that, but when I want to open up, you see my screen, right?
Yes.
When I want to open up a different floor plan like you just did, I don't know how you did that, because to open up a different, you were on this floor plan, you had floor plan dimensioned, and that's the only floor plan you had open. And then you opened up this one, first floor. And my question is, how did you get that first floor to come up as a view?
I don't remember honestly. No, because I just do click on the first floor, and then I just have, because that's my floor plan dimension.
Yeah. So let's share your screen again, because that's where I'm very, very confused. If you can select a different view, that means you must have some way to see the project browser. but I don't see it on your screen there.
Let me try to go to a different view. Let's see.
So how,
Is that here for the browser?
you must have access to your project browser in order to be able to select these different views.
It's right here. Look. For the browser.
All right, so I don't see it on my screen. So when you well, all right, we put the floor in anyway, so
Yeah.
let's click on that floor. It's easiest to select an edge. There you go, that's it. All right, now, do you see a properties box that tells us what kind of floor that is?
Right here. That's a 4 inch comic.
Okay, so I guess it's just for some reason it's not displaying on my screen. I don't see that. So I'm gonna take it back real quick and
Okay.
walk you through here. So
Oh, sorry. That's up share. Okay.
I think you should be able to see my screen now.
Yes. Okay.
So when I click on the floor, I'm in a section now, but I'm clicking on that floor, meaning that I'm selecting it. You should be able, you see this dialog box that says properties? You see that on your screen?
Yep.
Okay. So for some reason, I can't see it. But anyway, we want to take that highlighted and we want to make sure that we select the kind of floor that you want. What is the material of the floor that you want?
That's a 4 inch comic. Con 4 inch con.
4-inch concrete?
Yeah, concrete. Yep.
Okay. That's
But, but, but wait, it's not show up. Look.
usually we would do a tile or a wood there, not the concrete.
Okay.
But if you want it to be concrete, we're not going to make it 4 inches. We're going to make it thinner. So normally I'm saying that we would make it tile or we would make it wood. But if you want it to be concrete, we have to change the thickness of it. So you
All
tell
right.
me what you want the floor to be, and we'll change the thickness.
So let's see. Because I only have a few options over here, like wood, wood joist, and inch, like oak.
Well, you have oak,
Yes.
okay, and you have tile, but you said you've selected 4-inch concrete.
Yep.
All right. And if you want it to be concrete, that's fine, but we're just going to change the thickness of it. So I'm
Okay.
asking you, do you want it to be concrete?
No. Let's say to wood joint stand. Let's see. Say I'm Italian.
Well, this is difficult because I can't see what you're selecting, but you should
Let
have
me
oak, 3/4 inch oak, 3/4 inch plywood.
let me say my thing. Hold on.
All right, let me stop. You see, because that's the thing, Victor. I can't see that properties box and I can't see your
Look right
dialog
here.
box. You see it on your screen, but I don't see it on mine.
That's weird.
It's very weird. Um,
Look, let me just, for example, this one. There you go. It's true. It should work. No, it didn't work. Oh man.
You still have to X out or check the green or the X or the red X or the green. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I go through. So this is odd because right here I already have it in, and when I try to change it, they say, "Oh no, firewood," and then you also want to change it properly. It's supposed to change.
Well, you still have a green check mark to click on.
Mm. Well,
Still looks like
escape.
concrete to me.
Yeah, it's concrete, but it doesn't want to change. I don't know why.
If you hit that green check mark again, it won't accept it.
No, it says our request error. Like, oh boy,
Yeah, that's weird because I don't see that either.
that's odd.
Well, then hit the green, hit the red X because we can't have it accept it. All right,
Okay.
now let's click on the floor again. The easiest way to select it is by an
Yeah.
edge. There you go. All
Yeah.
right. Now, does your screen show that it's concrete? Does it label it as 4-inch concrete?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So where it says 4-inch concrete, click on that box, and there should be a whole bunch of other options come up that you could
Yeah.
choose. So pick something else just to see what happens.
Let's say tie. Let's see.
All right.
Okay.
And it changed it to tile. That's amazing.
Okay.
So now your kitchen floor is tile.
Yep.
Why
Oh.
we can't see it on my screen is the mystery of the day for sure. But we did succeed in changing it.
Yeah. I see on mine. So it's tie.
Anything else, Victor?
No, that was it, Professor.
All
Thank
right,
you
good
so
job.
much.
We're getting there.
I'm sorry for the inconvenience. So
Hey, Victor, I get paid by the hour. If you want to take 100 hours to get through this, that's all right because I get paid for that. But it's not an inconvenience. This is my job, It's just and it's not your fault that there's a little technical issue here. We'll figure it out. But anyway, I'm very impressed by your floor plan. You have definitely created the most difficult and best floor plan of anything that I've seen so far. It's really good. It's
thank
very
you.
difficult. You've merely made it hard, and you're doing a good job. So,
Thank you. Thank you
good
so
work.
much.
All right. Anybody else have a question, thought, comment? All right. I think it's a good time. Then we'll take some attendance. Let's see how that works. Today is the 19th. All right. So I'm looking for Aguadello Juan Manuel.
Here.
Excellent. And then we're looking for Alex DeMano.
Brian.
Is it okay? It says Brian Alex DeMano. Okay, very good. 2 for 2. We're on a streak here. Number 3 is Kyle Frazier. don't see you in the participants section, so I'll put a big A there. Let's pull this over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Victor, I know you're here. We just,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I missed somebody. Okay. I missed Rami Hagab.
Here, Professor.
Excellent. Okay. Then Christopher Lozado. I see you here.
I'm here.
Yeah, I see you in the participants. Amar Malagik. Right. Camilla. Okay, and then Giovanni.
Here.
Excellent. Then we're going to do the ceiling, and we'll put a rendering in here. Gulshat Museva Thai.
I'm here.
All right. I don't have any idea how to pronounce it, but I know we were talking a couple times. So give me some help here. Mini Aradzi
It's Munya. Munya is fine.
Munya. Okay. That's what it shall be. Shivam?
I'm here, Professor.
Okay. Geraldo Perez. Leona Peters. Evelyn.
Here.
Ryan. I see you're here.
Here, Professor.
Yep. Nader. Marvin, Romaine, Somar.
Here, Professor.
All right. Methma. Okay, now you can see my screen. I want to do a couple of things. I want to put a ceiling in this room.
Oh, you're not screen sharing.
Say it again.
I can't see your screen.
Okay, very good. I'll make that happen. How about now?
Yes.
All right, 1 second. Let me fix him. All right, Kyle, we got you. Okay. Now, question is, do you see my screen? Yes. Okay. So I want to put a ceiling in the kitchen, which we were working on that. And the reason I want to put a ceiling in the kitchen is because I want to put light fixtures in the ceiling, but I have to have a ceiling there in order for the light fixtures to have a host in order to accept them. So we need to put the ceiling in first, and I'll show you how to do that. It's very simple. Architecture tab, ceiling, and simply, let's say automatic ceiling. And then click right there. Now it's telling me I can't see it because I didn't go to the ceiling plan. So let's go to the first floor ceiling plan. And let's pull that out a little bit. All right, first floor ceiling plan. So I put the ceiling plan in there. However, if we look at the properties of that ceiling, I'll go back to the section here. That ceiling is too low. Look where the ceiling went. I want it to be up there. So the height from the first floor was set at 8 feet. So let's see what that distance should be. So we're going to measure from the floor to there. What is that? 10 foot 0 and 5/8. All right, so let's set it at 10 feet and see what happens. So we're going to click on that ceiling, which already went in, but it went in at 8. Let's put it in at 10 feet and see what happens. Yeah, that's what we want. It's exactly what we want. Okay, so now let's go to the first floor. I'm going to put a camera in there just to show you what I did. See, and we'll make it consistent colors. So now I have a ceiling in there, see? If I delete it for a second, the ceiling's gone. Let's go back and undo that. So we have a ceiling. Now, the reason I put a ceiling, and let's see, it is a gypsum wallboard ceiling, which would be most likely the ceiling that would go into this space. I want to put light fixtures in here because I'm going to render this. And when I render it, I need illumination in order to see it. The only light that's coming into this space right now is through this window. And when I render it, it will mostly be dark because there's not enough light. So I'm going to put some illumination in there. So if we go to the ceiling plan, a little trick that I like to do is I change it to 2x2 ceiling, and that puts a grid in there. All right. And I can use that grid to place my light fixtures. And then I'm going to change it back to the gypsum wallboard. Because if we look at it now, look at it, it's got that, you see these grids all the time, and these drop-in ceilings all the time in our classrooms and other office buildings and stuff. But we don't see this in a house, certainly not in the kitchen. So, but I'm going to use it for a grid. Architecture, component, and I'm looking for light fixtures. So let's type LIGHT and see what comes up. Look at that, downlight, recessed can, 6-inch incandescent, 120 volts. We'll use those. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to try to make some sense of it by putting one two, and then maybe 3, 4. I'm just trying to make some sense of using the grid. Maybe we'll put one right there in the middle. Probably should have some across here too. All right. Back to my 3D view. Now look at that. I put some lights in the ceiling. I don't like that grid, so I'll go back to my ceiling plan. I'll select the ceiling. Sometimes it's hard to select it that way, so I'll go to the section, and it won't be as hard to select it. And I'm going to change it back just to my gypsum wallboard, which is what I wanted it to be. So I don't want that grid in there, a drop ceiling in a nice kitchen like this. All right, ZA for zoom A. Zoom A is Zoom All. I'm going to go to my View tab, and I'm going to go to my render setting, and a dialog box pops up that says, what is the scheme? Now, the scheme is going to be sun and artificial. That means that Revit's going to turn on my artificial lights. And that's my setting, but I'm going to go over and I'm going to actually do the rendering in the cloud. In other words, Revit's going to use their very powerful servers in order to render this rather than try and do it on my very slow computer. And I'll just use the default there and say start rendering. There's a material that it can't find, but I'm going to say okay to that. And while it's rendering, I see this little box up here, but I'm going to go to the gallery. I'm going to say, Revit, show me the gallery. Now you might have to sign in for this. You know, these authentication things are really getting out of control, I think. I understand the need for them, but man, oh man, there's so much to do to get to get what you want to do. So what it's doing now is it's rendering my kitchen that I took a picture of with that camera. It's taken a while to do that, so we'll wait, we'll come back to it, but let's go over here. And look at some examples of a couple of renderings. Well, let's go to the next one then. Yeah. So here's, I think you can see this, but this is, you know, I put in a table and some chairs and that nice green marble, and that's a kitchen layout, and that's what will probably pop up. And this is a nice way to present your design to a client. One nice way. What's this one? Okay, so we're just looking at, you know, again, the green marble and the cabinets and the hood. Let's see what else we have here. There's a nice one right there. It's got the ballot, you know, here's the lighting in there, and there's a table, and that's the kitchen over there. What else do we have? Outside views. This is the one I think I showed last week where you've got the kitchen. We can put things on the table. That's from Revit City also. And then it renders, and I've got the lights turned on, and I put some fancy crown molding up in the ceiling. And cabinets, I changed the material on the cabinets so that they're glass face instead of wood, which you can change the material to anything that you want. Still rendering. You know, nice base molding that, and the lights, those lights came from Revit City also. And that's that's probably not a great example. Well, this isn't bad. It's kind of showing, these are all renderings that Revit has done to show Well, this might be a little bit better. What's this one? Nope. Towels hanging down. This is a mirror. We'll put the mirror on our wall and notice that it actually reflects what's behind it. So we have a floating vanity. Here, we would say the vanity starts at 3 feet and it stops at 2 feet. So it's a nice 12-inch thick vanity. We've got towels hanging in front of the vanity, sinks, of course, but the mirror, look at that mirror. It actually reflects what's over on the other side. It's showing there's more towels hanging over there. And you can see this is a fish tank that goes between the bathroom and the toilet. There's some nice, cool stuff going on there. That Revit does that. Now I set this. This is a high resolution setting, so it takes longer. In the setting that I used a very low resolution setting, so it'll come up quicker, so you can see that it still takes a little bit of time. It's probably quicker at night when there are less people using the server, but right now there's probably a lot of architects are sending off their work to the server to get their work done. It might be slowing it down a little bit, but usually doesn't take that long. Let's see what else. All right, yeah, and then outside views. Look at that. You can turn the lights on inside the house, tell it that the sun is set, there's no sun, and you can see the outside of the house and see what your house will look like from the outside, which I think is also really cool. Let's see if we got anything else here. This, while we're waiting, I'm going to show you. This is one of my houses that went up for sale, and I thought they did a really nice job of promoting it. Turn the sound off. But they did the aerial view, then some outside views, and then driving up to the house and the entrance, and then they put a ballerina in there to accentuate the house. I just thought this was a nice way to sell a piece of real estate. And you can see again all kinds of lights in the ceiling which illuminate everything. Let's see how we're doing here. Still not coming up yet. So I think there was one. Oh yeah, this one. This again, I told Revit that there was no sunlight. It was all artificial illumination. And look at how cool that looks as a design presentation feature. I think you can see that. Let's see. It's taken a long time for a very short. It's not a high resolution rendering, so it shouldn't be taking that much time. So we'll go back. I think we've done everything that I wanted to cover today, putting in the cabinets, putting in the floor, decide what your floor is. I put in a ceiling, we put in the lights. The only thing left to do is really the rendering, which is just taking a long time. Now, I don't have to go back to the site to actually see if it's done yet or not, because it's telling me right up here. It's still processing. You can see the little wheel spinning around there. So Revit's telling me it's still processing. So I'll pause here. Does anybody have any questions, thoughts, comments, ideas? Need any help?
I have a question, Professor, but it's just to ask about the house you just showed us. When did you actually make plans for that house?
The pink one?
The one that they made a promotional video for.
Oh, that was, I'm gonna guess maybe even 30 years ago.
30 years ago. Wow.
Yeah, before you were even born, it was there. Yeah. And I shouldn't call it a pink house because the client wanted a pink house. But the subdivision didn't want a pink house. So we ended up calling it rose instead of pink. But it turned out pretty cool. And you guys want to see any of those, that's, that I'll put that in the chat, the address. You can go look at that video at your convenience. I'm not trying to promote anything here, but you can definitely look at your convenience if you want. I'm just going to put that website in there. Yep. Okay. I think it went up. And I also believe that I can see now that the rendering came up too. So that's a very low resolution setting, but look at how nice it looks, even in low resolution. And I wouldn't necessarily do a high resolution first time. I would wait to make sure, like, see that everything looks good. You've got the right materials and everything is fine. And then after you're sure that it's really perfect, then use the high resolution. So I'm going to do it again in terms of setting it up. I'm going to say render. You can render it on your own computer, but your computer will take probably 4 or 5 hours to do what the Autodesk computer did in a couple of minutes. And so we want to set it to the lighting scheme just to sun and artificial. Now you can turn on each light or turn them off. I leave them all on, but you could actually go in and tell Revit which one you want to be turned on and which one you want to be turned off. So we're using sun and artificial, and then we go up to the cloud rendering, render in the cloud. And if I picked final and maximum, then the quality of the rendering would be much, much better. And I just say start rendering. And it's just telling the error here is that one of the materials that I have in this rendering or in this model, it can't find it. So it's just telling me that we can't find that. So it's going to use a generic material for that if necessary. So I'll just say okay. And now this is a high resolution rendering. It very likely is going to take a lot more time. So my questions to you would be, or my next thinking would be 5 feet. Okay. I have a hallway in there, and then I want to put in a powder room. So I might copy that again down to here. And then I might do a create similar from here to here. And then I'll just copy that over from here to here. And then let's do the architecture component, model in place, casework, okay, whatever that is, extrusion. Now, like I showed you that powder room or the master bathroom was a thicker countertop, so I'm going to make that 2 feet. So it'll be a foot thick instead of 2 inches. And then I just draw it from here to there. And let's see, how wide do I want it to be? Click here, make it 2 feet. And we'll say, okay. and we'll say, okay. Now let's just go look at the 3D and see what I just did. I just put a cherry countertop in there. Look how thick it is. Now it's a foot thick. I'll put a sink in there and a toilet in there. And that's what I would like you to do next. Architecture, component, TOI, search for everything with TOI is a three-dimensional toilet. I'll put it right there. Architecture, component, we're looking for a sink, SINK. What sinks are available? Let's use this one for there. And I think it's 5 inches above. And we'll put it right there. It's telling me we can't see it. Let's look at it in 3D, first of all. I think we'll be able, and there it is. I just put it way too tall. It's way, way up there. So not a big deal. We'll go to the first floor. I'm going to grab this section and send it through. Go to view. Now I can see that sink way too high. I think I put it at 5 feet instead of 5 inches. There we go. Now let's look at it in 3D. Look at that. There it is. I have to spin it around and then I have to cut the opening. So let's select it, rotate it, pick a point that is the beginning of the rotation, and we'll do it 90 degrees. And let's pull it down here a little farther. All right. And what else do we want to do? Edit in place, edit extrusion, and let's pick, let's offset that by an inch so that we're picking that line, but we're actually drawing our magenta line, which is where it cuts. We've made it go an inch away from there. Now I want to draw a line straight across to close it up and say, okay, and say cut and say, okay. Now let's look at it in 3D. What did we do? All right, now we cut a hole in it. The last thing I want to do today is put the mirror in, all right? Because we want this wall to have a mirror on it. So what I do for that, it will go here. We're going to say architecture, component, model in place. We'll still call it casework. Okay, whatever that is fine. And we're going to do an extrusion. We're going to draw a mirror. Right now, what's the thickness? Well, if we click here, we can make the mirror a 1/2 inch thick. Might even be less than that, but we'll just say a 1/2 inch. See what happened? I picked the object I wanted Revit to move. I changed it dimensionally, and Revit moved that to make this dimension true. Now, what else do we have going on? Well, right now, that mirror is goes up 3 feet and stops at 2 feet. So it's the exact same thickness of the countertop. So let's send it up to 8 feet. No, let's send it up to 9 feet as the top of it, and 3 feet is the bottom of it. And we have to pick the material too, which is a mirror. Let's see if we have any mirror. Yep, we sure do. And say, okay. And let's say, okay. And we'll say, okay. And let's look at it in 3D again. Now, in this view, it's not going to do the reflection, but when I render it, guess what's going to happen? It's going to reflect everything that it's on this side here. So let's put in a door too. We didn't put in a door. How are we going to get in there? So we'll put in a door, architecture, door. This door is 36 by 84. We don't want that one. That's the one with the structure in it. 36 by 84. I think that's pretty good. I have a door getting into my bathroom. I have a nice floating vanity there and a sink and a mirror and a toilet. Now, that's not a great bathroom, but it's a good demonstration of how to do the bathroom. Those are the things that you would want to do next, is to start putting in the bathroom. And then the next thing after that, maybe we're going to put in I picked this, right click, create similar. I'm just going to put a wall in there because I want to put in component. There it is, washer dryer. All right, so I might want, now these are stacked units. Let's look at it in 3D. You'll want to do the same thing. You want to put the countertop in, and it's a laundry room. You might want to have an island in there. You definitely want to have a sink. And that would be what I would hope to see next Friday, is your development of the plans with a powder room and a laundry room in there. And we'll worry about the stairs the following. Now we can do the stairs right now. Let's do the stairs as the last part. All right, so let's say that I want the stairs to be over here. Architecture. Stairs. Now, the important thing about your stairs, I saw some of you drew your stairs, which are fine, except pay attention to where they start and where they stop. The stairs start at the first floor. Where do they go to? Where's the top level? Well, the top level would be what? The second floor. So if you want your stairs to go from the first floor to the second floor, let's grab that section and go through there. Where does it start? First floor. Where does it stop? Second floor. There's a gap here because there's usually a nosing like that, which you don't see here. So if I went to stair, how wide do I want my stair to be? 4 feet. You can make it wider, 5 feet. You can draw a shape of your stairs. They're still going to go where to where. Let's see what are the, so look at this one. Now this one isn't going to make it. See where that one stops? That one's, that one didn't make it to the second floor. Why? Because if you look at the properties, I said take it to the top of the second floor window. So we got to pay very close attention on your stairs to where they start and where they stop, because we don't want to have to jump from here to there. And I think that's a lot of work for today. Any questions, thoughts, comments? All right, the ball's in your court. I gave you a lot of work to do, showed you how to do it. I understand it's the first time you've done it, so it's going to be a little frustrating, but give it the college try, and hopefully I can help you out more so than you haven't asked for a whole lot of help today. Anyway, see everybody next Friday. It's also online.